Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 508.
508.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. We are talking all about Pixar Fest at the Disneyland Resort today. And you can go ahead to MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They can book you for Disneyland. We actually stayed at the Disneyland Hotel for one night. Disney put us up there and very impressed, honestly, with it. And then, of course, you have the Pixar Place Hotel as well.
Which looks very nice.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the lobby was beautiful. So check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, or for Walt Disney World, there's a lot coming up.
Disney
Cruise Line, also a lot coming up. Check them out.
So you had mentioned this show is all about Pixar Fest. We first went to Pixar Fest in 2018, the last time it was held, and it was a really wonderful event. And as a matter of fact, I remember these cars there in front of Cars Land at the time for the original Pixar Fest.
And I believe, that was the first and the last time it had happened. And Pixar Fest is very different this time around. But you still have like a little parade. I don't want to say little. I mean, it's a nice
big,
parade.
Full-size
it's a pretty
parade,
good parade.
yeah, and fireworks.
We really enjoyed it. And so we went out, and we're just looking here. This is a big decoration in the Esplanade. We went out for a week on our own, and then Disneyland had invited us to the media event overnight. So we were able to experience it both for the media event and as guests afterwards for a number of days.
Here we are. We're going to start off at Disney California Adventure. We're going to show all the offerings there, and then we'll switch to Disneyland, and we'll take a little side trip to the Disney Pixar Place Hotel.
Yes, and here we're looking at, there's a Club Pixar. So I really like that there is Pixar in both parks, but it was like that last time. Also,
right.
When they had the parade, it was in Disneyland Park. So it's just different this time.
And we're kind of looking at some scenes from Club Pixar at night mixed in with day. We had gone to Club Pixar it was actually a media party, but this is a show that actually takes place during the event.
Yes, and right here, this is my favorite part of Club Pixar, actually, are these cars, and you get to watch shorts, and I thought that was very cool. And one of them says, you see Pixar fan on the back there. It also says Pixar Fest on another one.
Right, I love all the little all
the details.
Yeah.
And then they have games, and we didn't play any, but I was told they were free to play.
Well, we would often get there either very early or very late, and at this time, the games weren't even open yet, and then late at night, they were busy, so we were kind of didn't have a chance to play any of the games.
And I sat in the chair for a few minutes and watched, in one of the seats, and it was very comfortable. And I think this is just such a nice little. Like, they should have this type of thing all the time.
Well, it reminds me of something we have here at Disney's Hollywood Studios, the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater. Mm-hmm. So all we need is some food service.
Well, they have
drink. Yeah, they have a
they
bar
have the
right
drinks
there.
and everything.
Special Pixar food is available.
So anyway, this is just a nice little, to me, a little bonus of Club Pixar. And then there's plenty of seating in the area as well if you're not going to end up sitting in one of the cars.
Yeah, you had mentioned all sorts of comfortable chairs, lounges at night. Again, this has specialty items for Pixar Fest, and you have nice backdrops too where you can take some photos.
Right, there's a number of different backdrops within the two parks, and also this is a backdrop that we ended up seeing The Incredibles in, and they met separately. Originally, we thought they were going to meet together. We never saw them meet together, and Mrs. Incredible, Elastigirl, was not there very often while we were there. So Mr. Incredible is in his original suit.
Vintage
We've
suit.
not seen this in person before. And I really like that they have a lot of rare characters, and also, some rare character costumes as well for Pixar Fest.
And my advice, probably our advice, would be if you want to meet the Incredibles characters, early is definitely better, because we walked by it later on in the afternoon, and it would get quite the line. So we would get there before each set, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes before the set started, and it was very easy.
And by early in the day, Mr. Incredible was meeting, but it was later in the day that Elastigirl was meeting, I think.
Right.
So,
but what I meant is we get there a little before the set begins.
Yes, because there ends up being a long line. So, especially once guests see that they're there, then they start really lining up.
That's the key. That is the whole key right there. So you want to get there before there's any characters out. So that's what I was trying to say. Here is Elastigirl in her outfit from The Incredibles 2.
Yes, and that, again, another outfit we have not seen and we were told she was on a mission. That's why she was not there in the morning. And I was surprised her mission wasn't to go to Pixar Fest, but
Well, it's funny.
I don't know if she's on a daily basis now.
You could see Mr. and Mrs. Incredible in 2 different outfits
Yes.
on the same day within hours of each other. So, because they're both in the parade.
Well, but not only that, but Fantasyland Theater.
Oh, that's
you
right.
have
At
them
Disneyland.
as well.
At Disneyland, yes.
During the media event, we thought that they were going to be at Fantasyland Theater in these new costumes.
Right.
But they weren't. So we found out they were going to be at DCA while they are in their regular costumes over at Fantasyland.
Right. It's a bit confusing, but the bottom line is this is where you see them right here in Hollywoodland. Oh, this is another great character. It's Talking Doug, interactive Talking Doug. And this is so cool. What we're going to do is we're just going to stop talking and play our experience meeting with Doug. And it's over by Grizzly Peak.
And look at the little ducks.
I love those little
Yes.
ducks. So here he is. Here is us meeting Doug.
Oh, you are here. I see.
Has he, have you gotten
Right now it's very happy because you are here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doug.
You on his shoes, and mostly I do not.
Mostly. I'm okay. And then Doug, we're going to scoot you a little
Will
bit back.
you be my friend?
Yes, of course.
I have a new friend, and it is you.
Thank you.
2 new friends.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
For the next 30 seconds. Did you guys have pictures together? Could I take a couple pictures of them first?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
This will be fun. I am happy because I am here with you.
Thank you very much, Doug.
You are very so welcome. I have had a good time.
And that was wonderful. I really loved it. Interactive Talking Doug.
But it was funny during the media event, you know, we were told there'd be a surprise. And then Doug comes in like, I've seen Doug before. But then he started talking.
Yeah,
So
it
that
was.
very
It
cool.
really was a surprise. That was not my first guess. So I
No.
thought it was really awesome. Anyway, now it's time for the Better Together, a Pixar Pals celebration parade.
And this is very similar in some ways to the Pixar, was it Pixar Play
Play
Parade,
Parade.
from 2018?
Yeah.
But totally different as well. Some of the floats are a little different, but there's so many new stories, surprising amount of new stories and characters that have happened since then for Pixar. And
Starting
it's really
off,
great.
starting off with the Turning Red float with many characters from the film.
Right, and you've got like a couple of dozen characters in the parade. Here you have Red Panda May, who we have not seen before, and then you actually have like 10 new characters on here if you count her friends, and I think that's 4 Town up there, and it's really just a terrific float. I thought that Panda May would be the most popular of the whole festival, but
not quite.
no, not quite.
And I have to recommend, you have to see the parade twice because you need
At
to see it
least.
from the other side. And actually 3 times, because I like to see it coming right at you. You see something different every time, so it's very, very repeatable.
And this up segment with, I remember the first time during Pixar Play Parade when we saw Russell riding Kevin. And also you have, this whole area is the same. The floats are the same.
Right, and the first time that we saw that, I mean, walking like that,
It was incredible.
There had been no now you have a Kevin meet and greet
Right.
at the various parks, but that was the first time you saw him walking and everything, so it was really amazing.
Well,
and it's
Kevin
still,
she.
Why do I always do
I
that?
don't know, but
She. You know
and
what I
Russell,
meant.
yes, I know.
And Russell.
And so you have Carl and Doug here. So again, this segment is the same as the Pixar Play Parade. But it's really fun because a lot of people haven't experienced this. I mean, kids who are 5 would have never seen the original
yeah.
parade, which is, it's very cool to be able to bring this and so much more.
And now
back.
we're looking at Soul, the Soul float, and the various dancers that go along with that, and musicians.
And so you have Joe Gardner, and then you have his students who have, his band students. So he is not fully new because he has been, I believe, playing piano over at the Pixar Place Hotel.
Yes,
We did
right.
not see him this time, but we did see Bing Bong.
And we're going to take a look at our meeting with Bing Bong a little bit later. But I think he comes later out later in the afternoon or evening to play the piano, so he wasn't there when we were there.
And I can hear the song, It's All Right. You know, like I can
Yes,
hear
yeah.
it as he's going by right now. You know,
The
it's
whole
such
thing is an earworm. Like,
Right.
even the first time you see this parade, it will stay with you, especially when you go to bed. But in a good way. I really like the music from it.
And again, this is another float that has returned, and that is Joy and Sadness. And we've got Bing Bong sort of like in statue form on the back. I'm not sure exactly, you know, what to call him. But this is a fun float.
And again, there's very interesting details. If you notice, the tires are actually turning in the wagon. There's so much color. It's a beautiful float, as are all the floats in the parade.
And we have, like if you go to our Pixar Play Parade from 2018, you can kind of watch that. And I think we have millions of views on that one. And then, of course, we have this. And we're going to have this parade from several different angles.
Yeah, it was such a great parade. I just wanted to see it each day we were there, which we did. So I think I recorded it 4 times from 4 different angles. This was my favorite, though. I really liked it coming right down the street, right at you. So I thought it was a really good one.
This is a great location, and you can see more performers coming in. Of course, the performers are themed to each float, and this is really great for the parade, the Luca float. And the one thing is, when I watched it, I saw the parade 3 times, and the last time I finally saw an effect where you can see that they are sea monsters. Luca and Alberto are sea monsters, and not just humans.
Right. It all depends how the sun hits, and
Yeah.
this is such an amazing float. Even at the front here, you could see the water coming down from the spigot there. It's just so many great details. Look at, you have the sea monster in sculpting form there, and I think this is representing the ocean. And you can see Luca and Alberto in the ocean, and you can kind of see through, and you could see that the bottom half of them, as you said, are sea monster form.
Right.
And they'll hold their legs and their tail up every once in a while, but it's really depends on the sun.
And also you have Julia. Now, Luca and Alberto meet for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Julia does not meet, but they are 3 new characters for Pixar Fest, which I think is fantastic. There's a lot of great characters, rare characters that you can see or meet. And so now we've got the Incredibles in their regular outfits. And
they have these
also
little
Frozone.
right. They have these little incredible mobiles here. We've seen these in Paris,
Yes.
often, and we've seen them at Walt Disney World. So I really like this. This is a very nice way, and they're back to their original outfits.
Yes, and it's funny when we see Mrs. Incredible in Paris. She's always like doing
Fancy spins. Let's say fancy spins.
So anyway, now we have a Toy Story truck while we're watching Frozone pass by. So,
And let's talk about there's a little game that one can play at Pixar Fest where there is a popcorn bucket of the Pixar van.
well, they'll say there's 50 trucks, and they're like the popcorn buckets, and some of them will look just like the popcorn bucket. Some are modified. So we're just going to show you one. We didn't even find that many of them because it's a little harder than you would think it would be.
And there it is. There it is right in the back there. So they are also in attractions. After the parade, we're going to go to a very fast attraction really quick and see another one of those hidden Pixar trucks.
And we didn't find too many of them. A lot of them are on attractions and such, and
Yeah.
we were just not on that many rides during this trip.
Yeah, you're going to see it in the Incredicoaster. So that was quite a tough one to find.
And it's a Small World. It has one as well.
The master of that is our friend Jeremiah from Laughing Place, who
Oh,
seems to have found most of them somehow.
And so here we have really some of the classic characters for Pixar. You've got Mike and Sully, and you've got Buzz and Jessie.
And Miguel, a new classic
Yes.
character.
And while Miguel was new, actually he debuted in Magic Happens. I think Coco had just come out for the last...
2018.
Yes, around 2017, 2018.
And now you see Miguel in many productions
We see
as well
we
as
see
Meet
him a
and
lot.
Greet.
Yes.
So anyway, what is very interesting about this parade is if you follow it all the way to the end, going this way towards Pixar Pier, there is a nice finale performance, including sign language.
Right, they use American Sign Language at the end. And really it's not everybody realizes this happens, but I have a feeling there's more and more guests who find out about it. But it really is, they're so energetic, and they've made it through the whole parade, and then they come out and they just put their all into it.
And it also happens the other way when the parade goes towards Mission Breakout Avengers Campus, and there's an exit, and they do the same thing
dance
over there. So it's you've said that this actually has been going on at parades here for quite some time. I also have seen a lot of this at Disneyland Paris. They have their finales there.
As have I, and that's where we've seen it more often,
because we're there all the time,
right? Where you have really kind of this end show stop, and they do this for the crowd.
But I'll tell you what, in Paris, everybody knows about it because it can be very busy at the end, and you'll be kind of pushing to get a spot, and when the doors like a lot of times in Paris will happen behind the doors, so when the doors close, they're all waving goodbye,
right.
And that's truly the end. But this was wonderful and a great surprise, and I would recommend checking it out if you can.
I mean Disneyland is very much a locals park. You have tourists, but it really is a locals resort.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see more and more guests finding out and really wanting to see this in person.
Now, I had mentioned about that little scavenger hunt for the...
It's not even a little one.
It's a big one. It's a big... We call things little, but it's not little. It's a massive scavenger hunt. Look, there he is right there. You could see in between.
Yes.
There's a better shot of it. There is the truck.
And it's funny because I called it a little parade.
Yeah,
but
it's not a little. It's a massive parade,
and
a full parade.
To me, like Magic Happens feels like it's double the length, but Jeff just showed me it's like the same length. So I just thought that was funny.
So here we are. We are at the Pixar Place Hotel, and it looks so much different from when we were there last. It wasn't quite done with its refurbishment, and the reason we came over is to meet Bing Bong.
You spent a lot of time with our friend.
Well, our friend Bing Bong didn't exactly, as you can see, he didn't exactly have a big crowd. So Bing Bong was happy to spend time with us.
When I use the word friend, I'm talking about somebody else who was not Bing Bong.
Well, and everybody enjoyed the experience.
Yes.
Maybe not you. Maybe you thought it was too much. You can never have too much Bing Bong, if you ask me.
Because almost nobody was here except for a few guests, and so I went and sat down after I met him. And
How can you give up an opportunity? This only can happen in this one hotel.
Isn't that amazing? Really,
in the world. I mean, if you want to meet Bing Bong, this right now is your only opportunity. So I wasn't about to let that go by.
And usually, I guess there's a backdrop that was, I don't know if it was broken.
It's being
or something.
refurbished. It has a rainbow and everything, and that'll be returning, they said.
And he also meets in the lobby. There's like 2 sets. He's not there like all day long, so you have to find out when that is.
Now it's back. We are back at Disneyland, and we were about to have lunch, but before lunch, we wanted to make sure we had this cake, so we had dessert first at the Carnation. No, actually, this was at the Plaza Inn.
And I have been talking about I wanted to get this cake. So that, especially just so that we could talk about, that's the only reason we got it.
For research purposes.
For research purposes.
It was
only.
delicious, by the way.
Nice.
Absolutely delicious.
And that is a returning item as well. We had that in 2018.
And then we were able to get a last-minute reservation at the Carnation Cafe. I had just tried. We wanted to have we hadn't had a sit-down meal the whole trip.
And normally
it was our last day.
Normally we do Lamplight. That's my favorite restaurant.
Couldn't get in,
and we decided just since we're going to be in Disneyland, you were able to get Carnation Cafe.
Very lucky. And we started off, I think you had a Fess Parker Chardonnay, and I had one of the Golden Road Brewing Ride on 10. It's a local Anaheim beer, craft beer, which was very nice. And we'll talk about our food items, but here are our drinks. What did you think? I'll tell you, I quite enjoyed the IPA on a hot day.
Yeah, it was fine. It was, a glass of wine, and I figured instead of spending, $5 or something on tea, I would enjoy a glass of wine, which is something you used to not be able to do here.
And we're looking at Walt's Chili. We both decided to have appetizer of Walt's Chili. You make a great version here of Walt's Chili, which actually is just a little better if you ask me.
It's from the cookbook. It's from the design cookbook.
And there is now that's what the one you make. You usually don't have all that extra stuff on the one you make. I prefer it like that actually. Yeah, like the cheese and the sour cream and all that other stuff with it.
Right, I just go straight with the just chili.
And we also had a turkey sandwich. It was a massive turkey sandwich. We
was
split
nice.
it in 2 weeks. We barely could even finish this. Of course, we started off with dessert.
Well, we split one dessert and then went for the chili, and this was really it was a very nice meal. We were thinking that we may end up seeing Magic Happens from here. We were all the way in the back. I was not expecting to actually watch Magic Happens on this day.
Yeah, because I mean they were making the announcements as we were wrapping it up, but we ended up having a
I
great
look like
spot.
I'm asleep there.
Well, it was hot.
It
You
was-
just ate.
It was hot.
So anyway, now we're at the Fantasyland Theater, and why are we here?
We are here for the Pixar Pals Playtime Party. I always have to look at that because
Why did you say it? Because it's a tongue twister.
4 Ps. Yeah, and
There it is.
This is actually a really fun location. And the only thing I don't like is they have that umbrella, so if you're sitting, you can't really see.
Well, that was intentional. I've heard.
Right. That I know you've heard that, but I think it's nice to be able to sit and watch what's going on stage for some guests.
Now there's meet and greets that happen along the way, and there's also a show. We'll talk about that. But first, it's Ember and Wade. We had already met them at a media
event.
party, but this is the regular meet and greet with them, the regular backdrop that anybody can do, and it was great. They are very, very fun characters to meet.
And Ember and Wade had not met in the Disney parks before. I think they did a meet and greet when the movie came out only, at like a studio event. So it was really fun to meet them. And again, I thought for meet and greet purposes, like when I posted about them, I thought they would be the most popular. They were very popular. But Luca and Alberto,
they were extremely popular. But again, as you said, Luca and Alberto, massively popular.
and
But
I'm
first,
I'm
before
a
we
big
even...
fan of Elemental. Love it.
Yes,
So,
me too. I'm a huge fan of it.
And here we are with Onward. We're looking at the van. I met Ian and Barley just before in 2020, March 2020,
At Pixar Night.
at Pixar Night, and the next day, and it was just days actually before the parks ended up shutting down. So they weren't out for too long.
Just like Magic Happens, I mean, you said it's kind of even emotional because you have such memories of all of this.
Well, especially Magic Happens, I get a lump in my throat because I got to see it, that particular week. So Ian and Barley, again, they made their debut at Pixar Night in March 2020, and then I have not seen them since that trip.
Oh, no, we did get to meet
Oh,
them at
did
Walt
we?
Disney World.
No,
Yes.
well, a couple days later.
And we met them at a movie. They brought them out also.
Well,
so there's a
that-
couple. But this
but
was,
since
in
then,
California,
since
it was
2020.
the You're Better meet and greet.
Since 2020, I haven't seen them. So it's really nice to see them meeting. And also, we have Luca and Alberto. First time also ever meeting. And really so popular. They have been, like, when I posted about the different characters, they have been the stars of it.
Well, a little advice on all of this is if you're interested in meeting the characters, we've been told, we don't know from firsthand experience because we haven't done it, but we've been told in the afternoon the lines do go down. It's a lot easier. First thing at rope drop, it's the longest lines of the day to meet them.
And we had already met them at the media event.
We did not take up the time to meet them
Right.
again. We met them. We actually met them twice during 2 different experiences, so we didn't do that.
And we were told that, just like during Oogie Boogie Bash, they can move guests through very quickly. Like, we had a ton of time with them, but that isn't necessarily how it's going to be for regular guests, and it might depend on how busy it is.
Right, what you're seeing here, this was actually, before it opened to the public, it was a media thing, so we did have more time than normal.
Right.
Because right now they're kind of telling you, take a couple pictures and
Just
move it
like
along.
like Bruno and such,
Correct,
and the Sanderson sisters at Oogie Boogie Bash. But again, I mentioned, if it's not too busy, maybe
Afternoon would be better.
yes. So there's it's like a show, and it reminds me of what Tomorrowland has had in their small theater, where you have you have hosts who are leading especially kids, but everybody in exercises, in just like they're doing the dino.
Right.
you
This
know.
starts off with the host without any characters. There's about 15 minutes or so of that, just kind of getting everybody
Warmed up
warmed up. But then when the characters come out, you have various different songs, kind of like sing-alongs. You just saw Joy and Sadness, and first they had a sad song, and then they had a happy song, and it was so funny to see Sadness try to do the dance numbers along with the happy song. She did her best, but and now you have the Incredibles out there, and you also have Joy and Sadness in the back. And now Edna Mode has come out, Frozone, so you do get quite a bit of characters. You have Woody back there. It's really a lot of fun. Like for me, I like the ending, which is more for a general audience.
And of course, you have the meet and greets going on, and also we had seen Doug, non-talking Doug,
Right, and Russell.
With Russell,
and you can
right.
meet them as well. They came out first, but then you're quickly distracted when you see
Everything
Ian and
going-
Barley, and
yes.
then you know that the other characters, Ember and Wade, are back there, and
and
everything.
they're rare.
Yeah, very rare,
Right.
yes.
So if you're seeing the up characters, we can see them at many other locations, but not Ember and Wade and Luca and Alberto.
But it really is you want to give this at least an hour, honestly, if not more. There's so much to see. The show itself is about 40 minutes long, the whole production.
And you can see an overview there. Like a lot of guests were sitting.
Yeah.
There wasn't really room for dancing for everybody
That's
who was
because,
there.
Yeah,
It was
we were there for
busy.
rope drop, and it
Right.
gets really crowded. And now it's time for Together Forever, a Pixar nighttime spectacular. And in this particular night, it includes fireworks. I see Buzz Lightyear here, just like in 2018, flying over the castle. It does not get even a bit less exciting than when we first saw it in 2018.
And it was really great that there were fireworks on this night. So they don't have fireworks every night at Disneyland. And you told me that there's more than ever.
Yeah, they said they're going to have more nights planned with fireworks. Now, I say planned because you never know in Southern California with the wind if it's actually going to have the fireworks. But they have more plans than ever before for this season.
But there's a lot of projections. It used to be, years ago, you would go to Disneyland, and if there was no fireworks, you didn't see anything.
That's right. That's right.
So it would just be like, there's no fireworks tonight. So then you leave. But now, whether there's fireworks or not, there's still a show.
And you mentioned projections. There's also great projections on Main Street USA. We showed some of the other characters. Speaking of characters, I should mention all the characters that debuted from 2018 till now have been added, so it's been updated. You just saw the Pixar section with the inflatables. There's all kinds of things that go on. Here you have the up balloon. This is incredible. The up balloon flying
the
over the
house.
castle. Yes, amazing. And also, if you go to the Small World Mall, you can see it.
The projections.
And if there's fireworks, that's a great place. You really feel those fireworks in your chest because you're so close to them. But that's a great place. And also where the Rivers of America, they have that there too. So, I mean, there are many great places to see this show with or without the fireworks. And I should mention, there's lasers. There's just a lot going on during this show.
And well, Main Street is the best place if there's fireworks going on. While we were there, I think there was a few nights that were supposed to have fireworks that didn't, because we expected them.
Yeah,
like
the
when
first
we were,
Saturday night, it didn't happen because
Right.
of the winds.
So winds are such a big thing in California. So a lot of times you just don't know until it's time and whether you'll get them or not.
Now, I don't know if you remember back in 2018, but as the show, when it ends and you're walking down Main Street, you have all sorts of things going on as far as projections, including Barbie here. Barbie is addressing you, and as soon as she finds out that it's all done, she can kind of, okay, I can be myself again. So it's really fun, and of course, again, they've added some new characters to the walkout. So it was really a really nice, very nice ending to a great night.
And the projections look better than ever.
And I see we're about to have a little panda action going on there.
That's really fun. And again, the projections are so clear compared to, I mean, they get better and better.
Now, we did get to see the show a couple more times from our hotel room, and I'm kind of throwing this in here now. This is from our window at
Homewood
the
Suites.
Homewood Suites on Harbor Boulevard. So how cool was it to be able to see this a couple more times?
We're really fortunate. They know us there, and I asked if they had a fireworks view room, and we got one. This is actually like the third time we've ended up with one, and it really is fantastic to be able to watch the fireworks at Disneyland.
Now, I want to mention we also had an interview with all the merchandise, and I'm going to link that at the end and also add it to the show notes. Plus, we showed all the food and beverage, a very nice compilation of all that. I'm also going to link that and add it to the show notes. So make sure after this ends, if you want to see even more, to just hang in there and you'll be able to click on those and watch those. There's a lot more of Pixar Fest.
And that was a great finale.
It really was,
really
even from
finale.
the room. So overall, Pixar Fest was wonderful. It exceeded my expectations, and if they have it again, I would go back next year.
Yeah, I mean, there's aspects of it that probably could be even better, like using the theater in Hollywoodland that has had Frozen and such.
Paint the Night.
Paint the Night would
Would
be
be
nice.
nice.
but
When
really,
can we do this again?
yes, we really did have a great time. You know, it's Disneyland. There was, you know, extra entertainment, which was really terrific. They are also going to have 6 food booths coming themed. I don't know why it didn't start with Pixar Fest, but it is Pixar Fest food booths that start on the 10th of May and will continue through August 4th, which is the end of Pixar Fest.
We did get to try some of those items, which I thought were very good, and you'll be able to see all of those items in the food and beverage
That was
link
a big,
that we're gonna do.
that's
so
a
there's
that's
all
a big
kinds
video.
of food items.
So thanks to our sponsor, MEI and Mousesteps Travel. If you are heading to Disneyland and especially if you're not sure where to stay, they can help you out with that. They can check for discounts. I know there's some discounts for the hotels at certain times out there.
Hey, I love the Disneyland Hotel.
We stayed there one night,
but I'll
and
tell
it
you,
was amazing.
Homewood Suites also was fantastic. Really, I mean, it was a wonderful experience.
They're totally different. They're totally
different. They each
experiences.
have pluses and
Yes.
minuses. I mean, you can't beat after the fireworks just walking through downtown Disney and being back at your hotel at the Disneyland Hotel in minutes. Plus, very soon they're going to have a dedicated entrance just for hotel guests out there. So that'll be nice.
I will say that I had always told people when they asked me, should I stay on Disneyland property? And it's like, well, you know, you can walk. Like, it doesn't take us long to get to the Homewood Suites generally, even walking, but especially if we're taking the Toy Story bus. But honestly, we really enjoyed the one night at the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah, we said we're planning to have a little splurge. It is a
At some
splurge
point
because
for us,
it's a lot more expensive.
Right, but it was, you know, the room was really nice. I loved the effect. So many little touches. We had a great view of the pool area. The service down in the lobby was fantastic.
Phenomenal. No comparison to the Disneyland Hotel in Paris.
We had some issues
the service
with the
here
Paris
was outstanding.
Well, I mean, there was plenty of cast members ready to help you. And so I can't say enough about the Disneyland Hotel. Plus, we walked the grounds a few days later, and it just beautiful, you know. And so I can't.
And the DVC area looked very nice
right,
too.
That's what I was saying.
Took a look over there.
It's like park-like and everything.
Yes.
So I definitely recommend that. We also recommend the Homewood Suites because we love it and we love having a suite. And I like to.
Well, let's take that back. Don't go to the Homewood Suites because I don't want it to be sold out for us.
Yeah, don't
it's such
sell it out
place.
For us. So
forget that one. Go to the Disneyland Hotel.
No matter what, you know, there's a lot of options in Southern California in the Anaheim area that we can recommend. But anyway, check out MEI and Mousesteps Travel. They can also recommend that's what they do. And they can, you know, book your trip.
And we will have a lot more. We have so much more content to talk about. I don't even know what we're going to use. We just have an abundance. We just had the 35th anniversary of Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Which we will probably not talk about in a show because it's going to be
too late.
Yeah,
but we have so much. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
We'll be going out, and it's just a non-stop action
which
with
is great.
The parks.
It's great. A lot going on.
So thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.